Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
I love this when we get together because you never know who you're going to meet, and so many interesting people that we have on our program. But interestingly, somebody's also doing their program, their podcast, while we're doing our podcast. I don't think I've ever done this before. It's almost like a cross-pollination podcast, if that makes sense. I don't know. I should stop talking and introduce Kimberly Cloud. She's with us. Kimberly, how you doing?
I'm doing good. Hi, everyone. How are y'all doing today?
We're doing fantastic over here. And you do so many different things, but one of the things you do, and you've been doing it for a while, is your own podcast. So before we even get into our podcast on this side, what does your podcast focus on?
Well, it's called the Kimberly Cloud Show, and it's a podcast that I developed in August of last year. Mm-hmm. And it entails me going out there, giving 30-second to 2-minute commercials to people. I just launched that 30-second to 2-minute commercials where they can have their own commercials saturated into my 24/7 streaming platform. And then they can be on not only my platform, but Santa Maria Community Television Network with their interviews, or Santa Barbara Television Network. So 3 different avenues of getting their message out there.
Fantastic. What are some of the people that you talk with?
I've talked with people in Italy. I actually just did a show. I did a show Friday, and it was to talk about the people in Ukraine. My heart goes out to them. And it was 5 of us, it was actually 4 of us. It was 3 of them and 1 of me. And we got together talking about the community of Ukraine. The last week before that, we got out talking about credit, or we got out talking about children not being taught the proper language of what women say when they mean no. They're being taught how to do that over there, how to educate themselves about what no means about rape. And then before that, I helped promote a girl named Brittany Crandall, and she has Rebound, and Joe Wheeler, she has Labella Products, and then we have the Course Hero with Ronnie Francois. And all these 3 people, what they do is they go around promoting the cause of Ukraine, and they go around promoting their businesses. And I feel like it's necessary in order to get that message across.
Absolutely. And we're getting the message across what you do. And how interesting, your topics range all over the place. Whatever's topical or whatever somebody needs to get a message out about, I think, it doesn't matter to you. You'll get that message out for them, right?
Correct. Technically, the Ukraine situation crisis, that was a worldwide event because of the fact that Joe Wheeler, she lives in Italy. And at nighttime, for all those out there listening, in Italy, we have it good here in the United States, because in Europe, their internet streams very slow. So she was coming off like very slow, like she didn't understand, but she understood. It's just that her Wi-Fi and Europe's Wi-Fi goes slow when everybody gets home.
Wow. And to the point of the Ukraine, I'll just share with you, because I'm proud of him. I have a friend who's a doctor, and he's very much into humanitarian efforts. And he not only a doctor, but he's also a fashion designer, and designed masks for COVID, but they're high quality.
Wow.
And they're also, just excellent designs. He, at this moment, on his dime, he is at the Ukrainian border with Poland, handing out his masks, because COVID has kicked up. Polio has kicked up over there, and he's the only U.S. doctor literally standing at the entry point from the Ukraine, just helping people out. So until we tell these stories, nobody knows, there are people out there doing good.
Well, I would love to meet him one day, just to sit up there and interview him, to wonder what was his trigger that made him want to go over there. And I know what his answer is going to be: Ukraine. Everybody is hurting for Ukraine, because I don't mean to get off subject, but it's like once a body hits the floor, there's women being raped out there, 17-year-old women, there's children, you know, and it's just sickening to me. And every day I include Ukraine in my story from now on, because I want to help. I want to show them that there's good Americans. There's Americans going out there protesting. There's Americans, like you said, what your friend is doing is going out there, you know, doing that at the Poland border, Ukraine border. You know, I wish I could help, but the best thing I can do is use my mouthpiece to talk. And if I need to donate, then I will donate.
Yeah.
Or create something.
And that's what he did. He created a charity a number of years ago, and one of the main focuses of the charity is just what you said, for women and women going through challenges. Right now, he's telling me by text, not even kidding, the racial issues that are going on at the border, biological warfare, because he's plugged into that. That's a very strong possibility that they may unleash that in that area, and just the conditions. And I'll tell you this, he left the other day and he's flying back again. I think this might be the third trip in like a week and a half. He says, my body is beat up. I don't care. I had to come back to the States because I had a obligation job wise, and I was back on a plane. And I think technically he's unemployed at the moment. And he's still doing it on his dime to take care of people. Yeah, I would love to connect you with him. He would love to talk to you.
Thank you. I would love to interview him. I feel like right now, you know, with my business, being like I said before, is dealing with a 30-second to 60-second commercial, and it's dealing with me getting people on my platform that have a past, present. Everybody has a past, present, and future, but are you willing to share your story about your past, present, and future? For these 2 seasons, I think I want to stick with the past, present, and future on not only entrepreneurs' lives, but so many other people's lives. And it all comes down to now that the crisis is going on in Ukraine. I want to add that into my show, which I have, but add that into talking about it with people, because that's how we come together, is sharing our insights and our thoughts about this situation. I do want to promote my business, but if I have to talk about Ukraine right now, I will. I don't mind.
Sure. And tell everybody, since this is about you and what you do, if somebody wants to hear your podcast, do you have a website where they can find you?
Okay, I'm on Facebook under Kimberly Cloud, and I'm the one with the striped dress holding my hands up in the sky. And what else? You can reach me at Genuinely Michelle Wiggs, because I stream on 3 different platforms. I stream on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. And so it's called the Kimberly Cloud Talk Show. You can look at my videos on YouTube, Genuinely Michelle Wiggs. I get on there live. I get on Facebook Live. I'm on Facebook Live right now, streaming. I feel like if the message is clear that whatever you dream that's possible. My goals for myself are like this. Whatever you dream is possible is possible. You may have hiccups in a row, and you may have things like negative things. And I would like to say one last thing. I feel like with Ukraine going on and everything with Ukraine, I feel like he is the Antichrist, you know, based on how I've studied him. But I'm going to make sure I incorporate, like I said before, all of my videos that I have with people that I know, Italy, France, Europe, UK. I know people from the UK. Chat and Spin Radio has me, because I do podcasts and I give podcasts. So Chat and Spin Radio is a UK event that I record sometimes, and it's every couple of months I get on there in the UK and London, and they love me there. It's over 1 million people listening to that nonprofit organization show. And then you got you guys, you wonderful guys at the Podcast Business News Network, for always having me on, like straightforward, linear, you know. And I know it's been a non-linear ride, but from here on out, I'm gonna try to make it as linear as possible with you guys.
Love it. Hey, Kimberly, out of the people that you've spoken to, aside from myself, who's the most interesting person you've talked to?
I've talked to Jill Nicolini, and I've talked to a couple of other people at the Elite Podcast Business News Network and the Podcast Business News Network. But my favorite person would be Jill Nicolini, because we had a couple of episodes together, and she's a wonderful person. You know, she interviewed well, just like the rest of y'all. Y'all all are well talented people. Y'all just want to get the message across, and that's the beautiful thing about doing podcasts. You look at, it's like an art form, because you talk about things and you get the finishing product of the people listening, and if they stay tuned and listen, they can educate themselves about what's going on, you know. So
Yep.
yeah.
I love people. I love uncovering stories. I love learning about, everybody's lives. And by the way, I've known Jill for probably 25 years. And
Wow.
oh yeah, I brought her on my radio show back in the day, and she was, very young at that time. And I put her on, and I knew that she had something. And ever since then, we used to work together and still do. So yeah, I know her very well.
I can't wait to get the Howard Stern lady, the lady from Howard Stern show, because y'all have her. I cannot wait.
You talking about Robin Quivers?
Yeah. Because initially I was supposed to have her, but then they switched me around. But I'm fine with that. I'm cool. I love meeting new people, no matter what.
Yeah, tell me about your life. I know you're, aside from doing the podcast, you got a lot going on in your life.
Yeah, so a little bit about me. I stem from Washington, D.C. When I was 5 years old, my mother wanted to get a lease on New Life, so she moved down to Charlotte, North Carolina, the Queen City. And we stayed there until she passed away from colon cancer. She was in her fourth stage. And when that happened, I came back up to Maryland, where I went to Oxon Hill High School. And from Oxon Hill High School, I graduated with honors, and I went to the military. And from the military, I sat up there, and I had little odd jobs working at places like for AT&T as a customer service agent or as a counselor, because I got my degree. My very first place I got my degree was BCCC, and it's called Baltimore City Community College. And that was in human services, a science background, science and human services. Then I went back to school the following couple months. I graduated in May. That August, I was back in school at Coppin State University, and I got my bachelor's degree within that year, the next year. So then after that, I decided that I got some money. Between that time, I got some money back from the military because I got an honorable discharge. And I have I want to clarify this. I suffer from mental health issues, but I am well-rounded where I'm taking care of them. I'm not neglecting it or whatsoever. So I sat up there and got money back from the military, where I sat up there and decided that I wanted to invest into my first business, which is Blue Cloud Cleaning. So I went with JanPro. I sat up there, I got with JanPro. I became a franchise, but I had my own business on the side. And when that finished and ended, then during that time I had Blue Cloud, I was grossing $80,000 a year. I still have it, but when it was active, it was grossing $80,000 a year, and it was in its freshman phases. And they say the first 5 years of your business, whether you're going to crumble or go, astray, and I don't want to go astray with that. So I try to keep on it every day that goes by. So to get to the point, I had Blue Cloud. I invested that July. I got Blue Cloud in March. I invested in July into Genuinely Michelle Wigs, where I would go to distributors and buy wigs offline and go to different places to see exactly what's out there. And from there, I sat up there and I went through a domestic violence situation where it cost me to be homeless for a while. So I was homeless and I was struggling and I didn't know where I was going to go. I didn't know what I was going to do. I was stuck in Wilkes-Barre, PA for a while. Then I maneuvered to Philadelphia, PA. And then I said something in me said that move away, because the last conversation I had with the court system for getting alimony for my domestic violence situation was he was in that area. He did not stay where we were located. He moved to where closer where I was. So I decided to get out of that situation and move all the way cross country. So if anything shall happen to me, they will have records of flights and everything. You know, it's no way they can come over here and get away with it. And so to get to the point, I sat up there, and during this time I was homeless. I invented Wigs for Success Incorporated, and that's a nonprofit organization geared towards helping men and women with alopecia, or not even alopecia, young men and women of all like races, and from 15 on up. If you have a work permit, I can put a wig on you, and then you can put on a nice fancy dress or a nice business dress, if we're like, because I'm affiliated with Dress for Success still, and you can get out there, and I'm affiliated with Allen Hancock College. It's just taking the time to start this ball rolling. And so I sat up there, and I'm affiliated with Allen Hancock with the Wigs for Success. You put a wig on them and you put them out there. You take a picture, you follow up. You know, that's my nonprofit. That's just the basic standpoint of my nonprofit, though. I want more, and it'll take way more than 30 minutes to talk about. And then I have an invention that I invented, and I went with Invent Help on that. And I also, to be honest, before I talk about my invention, Damon John, he from Shark Tank, and Kevin Harrington from Shark Tank. I spoke with Damon John personally on Facebook Live. It was a live event, and he told me, don't give up on Blue Cloud Cleaning, keep going. And if you have somebody that picks you out of so many people, tell you that and give you that strength, that persistence, you know, that lets me know that my company isn't going to fail, you know. And I just wanted to get that out there to the young entrepreneurs. When one door shuts, another door opens. And if you can't get to your destination like you want to, then what you need to do is find a different avenue, like make money doing something else that you love to do, and then come back to that. Come back to that when you can invest more money into it so it can grow even more. But don't give up on your dreams because it's not making money, because the money will come eventually. I'm raised the way I'm raised, where I say the money will come eventually, and it's growing. I can see it growing, but it's just going to take some time, you know. And so then I sat up there, and on my invention, I have an invention where it's going to be everywhere, in cars, it's going to be in hotels, it's going to be everywhere. It's going to be artificial intelligence type of device that's going to be everywhere, and it's going to be able to detect different things. And I think that this device will really help with people lying about, like, to be honest, it's a smoking thing. It's a smoking device. It's artificial intelligence smoking device, just to be honest. But the way it's made is more technical. So if somebody shall make it, even though mine's is patent pending, I'm still going to make it. And then I have another two things I would like to say. I'm supposed to be trying to figure out how I can talk to, well, I have her number, but Allen Hancock College, the woman that makes, she's sampling, not sampling, but she is creating different hemp samples. And yeah, so it is samples. And I want to create oxytocin, my own strand of oxytocin, and put it in hemp and marijuana. And I call it the love drug, because when you look at your spouse, or when you look at your child, or whoever you look at, oxytocin pours out of you. That's what's the chemical that causes love. And there's many other basic chemicals, but if you can harvest that one main chemical, that one main chemistry, which is the oxytocin, and put it into hemp or marijuana and distribute it, because they have so many drugs like cocaine and all of that out there. And it's like, let's create a good, healthy drug that we can call the love drug, that will not only help with anxiety and stress, but will cause pleasurable side effects, but not to the extent where it's illegal. I'm going through the FDA with this. I'm going to do trial samples with this. It's just all about the timing. Right now, what I'm doing currently is that I'm in school for film. And when I am in school for film, I'm taking an editing class. I'm taking a film 125, film 110, photograph class, and I have my own camcorder they gave me, and I have my own camera, digital camera, and then we use film cameras. I think that this time I'm going to fluster and push myself deep into within school for this semester, because I need to learn all I need to learn about with producing, and take some time off from school like I had to do with my master's degree, to focus more on podcasting and the blue cloud cleaning, then come back to Genuinely Michelle Wiggs. I'm supposed to be having a job fair in May, and I'm supposed to be getting my refranchised by June. I'm giving myself that time point, and I'm supposed to be going to LA to get more wigs from more distributors, and that's the current status.
Wow. I really, really appreciate your honesty and going deep into your life, because it's an inspiration for a lot of people, and those who may get to a point where, just giving up, like I'm not gonna be able to do this. You don't give up. You just keep going. There's, I call them speed bumps in life. Just go over another one, over another one. Sometimes there's a mountain you got to go over, but you climb it and you get to the other side. But I believe in what you said. The universe is there. Put the positive stuff out into the universe. The biggest mistake I ever did, to be honest, Kimberly, is worry about money. It was stupid, because you know what? Just what you said. Do what you want, have the passion, and the money will follow. That's the law of the universe. I truly believe that. And you just, sometimes it doesn't come right away. And, there's sometimes where you could be doing real good, and then you dip down a little bit and it's, oh, I'm worried about it again. Just do the right thing and you move it forward. But you're definitely moving forward. I don't know how you find enough hours in the day to do what you do. That's crazy.
Because I have 25 hours in my day in 8 days.
You're on a different clock and a different calendar than the rest of us, but send that to me. Let me see if I can work on that one too.
Okay.
So we talked about your podcast and the people that you've interviewed. Robin Quivers from the Howard Stern Show is one of them that you would like to talk to. Give me 2 other people, celebrities, doesn't matter who they are, that you would like to talk to.
I would love to talk to, wow, so many cool people. I always listen to Beyonce and Oprah. I like Beyonce and Oprah. One thing about Beyonce, I say she should run way in the future for presidency or some sort of really high stature thing. And then I sat up there, and Oprah should do the same one day. There should be like one African-American female that become the president of the United States that isn't, I don't like to bring politics into this, and I don't hate nobody, but I'm just saying, like Kamala Harris, she's not doing her job like she should. There's inconsistencies with what she's doing, and that's unfair to the people. It makes sense with what you're saying. And I feel like it should be one in the future African-American president that is independent, that is sitting up there trying to do everything she needs to do. Because I'm going to tell you what, if I could, I would. If I could run for presidency, knowing everything I've been through the bottom, and to work my way up to the top would say, it mean a lot to me to be of that high stature, but I'm not looking that far. But right now at 37, I'm content and I'm moving up further and further, and I'm running for councilwoman also. So and then possibly senator, but I just want to make it known that I may dip and dab into politics, but I don't know if I want to go that high as president.
Yeah, no, I hear you. A lot of responsibility. She was our first lady, Michelle Obama. How did you feel about her?
I love her. Like, I love her to today. I give her credit though. I give her credit because she done been scoped so much. You know, people didn't call her men, like she's a man, and people done talked about President Obama. And I love both of those guys. You know, they contributed. They may not be perfect, but they contributed a lot and still is with the Obama Foundation. You know, Michelle Obama has, you know, she's taught so much to the children. She wants to see our future. She wants to see our future look good. Now, as far as bickering, you know, I know that President Donald J. Trump, John Trump, and President Barack Obama, they don't get along. But deep down inside, if they really didn't get along, they secretly get along, but they just have disagreements. It's one thing to not get along where you're trying to plot on somebody, but they're not plotting on each other. They're just spying on each other like brothers and sisters do. You know, what are they doing? You know, so I love all the presidents. I you know, they all have scandals with them, as do stories do. We all have a scandal with us. And before we point the finger at one person, we need to point the finger, like Jesus Christ said. I'm not going to say in exact words, but whoever is not guilty and is not of sin, cast the first stone. If you have sin, then, or I'm saying it backwards, if you are sinning, then you can cast it, but if you are not sinning, then don't cast it. Pretty much that's what he's saying, you know. And I just feel like I follow those terms and definitions to the T. I don't read the Bible like that, but I tell you one thing, it don't take me once but a scripture. Give me a scripture or two and I can elaborate on that scripture, because I feel like with so many things going on, we have to learn the Bible, but we have to learn the world too. We can't just learn the Bible, because what's going on in the world is sickening, because with NATO knowing what's going on, and with the fact that we are in the biblical times of the end of times, which mean a beginning of a new time, they're not following the Bible. You know, thou shalt not sin, thou shalt not kill. Once Putin killed somebody, he should go to jail or be executed, one or the other. He killed innocent children. He killed innocent people. And NATO is just voting, and it's making a lot of people mad. Not just me mad, but a lot of other Americans are getting mad because it's just fishy. It just sounds so weird the way it's happening in Russia. And then there's people, and I've done a lot of studies on it, it's people in Russia that don't believe that Ukraine is going through what they're going through. That's mind control technology. And I don't believe, I don't want to get too deep into it, but I can tell that if they have bionuclear weapons, and they've been studying this. Hitler was born and died in 1946, and Putin picked up in 1954. Then before Vladimir Putin, it was Hitler. Before Hitler, it was somebody named Vladimir. You know, it's just weird to me. It's just weird. And they're all doing the same thing. They're trying to depopulate the earth. And I would like to say this, y'all. You know, if you're out there, kill him with kindness. Just help the people of Ukraine. Sit up there and send care packages. If you can go over there to the Poland border and support it. If you can do whatever you can, do it East Coast, do it West Coast, do it Central Coast, do it Mexico, wherever you are, chip in, because these people are hurting. these middle class, upper class, and lower class people are hurting right now. They had their lives ripped from them, and I know what that's like, and so that's what makes me passionate about it.
Yep. And just imagine, we're just about out of time, Kimberly, but imagine if that happened to us. How would we be feeling? We would be hoping, wishing that somebody would be there, coming to the border to our rescue. But yeah, and amen to everything you're saying. It's you say great things and you have a lot of passion. And yeah, we don't get into politics. I'm not big into politics. Every once in a while you got to skim it because it is part of our lives. But it was great. It was great talking with you and hearing your story. And look forward to hooking up with you again sometime soon.
Tell Nick, Jill, Nicolini, and the rest of the crew I said hi. Definitely will.
And next time we get together, I'll tell you my Beyonce story.
Cool. All right. Take care.
All right. Kimberly Cloud, good talking to you, and we'll catch up next time, okay?
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Are you looking for even more of the podcasts and hosts that you love? The Podcast Business News Network is proud to announce that you can now listen live on the MyTuner Radio and online Radio Box apps for iOS, Android, and the Amazon App Store. Or check us out online. Search for Business News Network on mytuner-radio.com or search Podcast Business News Network on onlineradiobox.com/US so you don't miss a minute of the action.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers.
Day-to-day simple tasks can become pretty daunting.
I have to carry my chair up 2 flights of steps or have somebody do it for me.
What scares me the most is just the falling.
When I'm struggling with my house, I think, to have that one great barrier just knocked down, it's crucial.
Home for Our Troops is a wonderful nonprofit that builds a
mortgage-free, fully adaptive, handicap-accessible house. And there's no catch.
It'll be our very first home that we've ever owned.
This is a game changer.
This is where your life begins again.
We need you to join us in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Because of you, everything's going to be okay.